Hey, what's up YouTube? So today I swapped back over to Penance Brand and I actually found out something pretty important that I wanted to share with everyone, and it's how important duration is on Penance Brand and what happens to your character's damage if you have too much duration on your gear or anywhere on the tree. And the reason why being is that I have an increased skill effect duration
Hello.
enchant on my Headhunter that I didn't realize, and I did a lot of bosses with it, and it seemed like the
Farewell.
damage took forever to come out, and it seemed like the damage was like meh. I was really confused. I swapped back over to Penance Brand just for some fun. It's always fun to try out some different abilities after you play one skill for too long. And yeah, and it was quite eye-opening, and I wanted to share later on in this video how important like knowing how Penance Brand works and the mechanics behind the skill, and why for single target fights it's very important that you balance your duration with your maximum number of stacks. So cast speed is extremely important. It's like a literally a damage multiplier to like a really exponential degree because of how Penance Brand works, because each stack gives you more and more exponential damage. I'll show you a calculator for how I calculated it, and it really illustrates how damage in this game really works and how more multipliers are king, and that the more multipliers you stack on one another, the faster that you'll one shot a boss. It's actually kind of funny with this double damage Nebulis, because your spells have a 10% chance to deal double damage. Sometimes bosses just randomly flop over, and I found out that's why like sometimes the kill looks so inconsistent in damage, is because this 10% chance to deal double damage, the boss just literally gets popped sometimes. So if you had aspect of the avian, you could have 10% chance to 20% chance to deal double damage. So for consistency's sake, I'm not even sure if this is the best, but anyhow, let's get into the gear overview, see if I made any changes, and then I will talk about Penance Brand mechanics and show you how you can calculate if your Penance Brand is fully optimized. So let's get into the gear overview real fast. So for the gear, mostly everything is the same. So I still have this area of effect, area damage enchant. I should probably switch it out. Now, the reason why I swapped out of BV was because I kind of want to just do a little bit more bossing. I was offering a bossing service on the TFT Discord, and bossing is just better with Penance Brand. Penance Brand is probably one of the best bossing abilities I think that you could possibly have. The ability to deal damage and move around and precast your damage is pretty nice quality of life. But let's see. So the helm we have the same, amulet's the same, the rings are the same. I did try swapping out this ring for a different one because I was using Herald of Ash when I was playing Blade Vortex, but now that I'm no longer playing Blade Vortex, I think Herald of Thunder is just too good. And if I use Herald of Ash here, would I get any fire damage to my spell? Let's see. Oh, yeah, it would give me some, right? Yeah. So if you wanted to use Herald of Ash instead of Herald of Thunder, this could free this ring slot up because you no longer need fire damage to spells and attacks. This same pair of boots, I did enchant this. I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I got increased movement speed if you haven't been hit recently. I technically could get pen, but movement speed is just really nice, especially if you're mapping. One of the best quality of life enchants. I know some people like attack and cast speed, so probably best is attack and cast speed is also kind of weird because it kind of screws over your duration for Penance Brand. But for mapping, you don't really need to worry about that as much. And then we have this dreaded Headhunter belt that I actually really need to sell. So right now, I'm just going to put it in my stash. I'm going to look at how much a Headhunter is, 154, 175x. So I need to sell this and buy myself a new Headhunter. So I'm just going to set it at 175 because I feel like there is some value in increased duration on the Headhunter. So we're actually 170, right? Maybe we can make some money back on this. But damn, Headhunter is really expensive. It's like the same price as a mirror already. And now you see I took off the Headhunter, and that's why like it's hard to actually use any belt but Headhunter once you have it, because my gear set is fully red. So when I'm bossing, I'm using this Hands of the High Templar, because I would just bought a bunch of Mavens to do. So you can see I have 6 more. I did get two Maven orbs, so I would consider myself relatively lucky-ish. I did like 5 or 8 of them. They're kind of fun to do, but it's kind of inconsistent because sometimes Maven just spawns the phases where you have to do the memory game, and other times you can just skip it. So overall, if you look at the tree, everything's the same. I'm using the brand loyalty remarkable with the 3 RMRs. I have this node right here, Flesh to Lightning with the Glorious Vanity, so I can fully convert to Lightning without having to use the Fizz to Lightning gem. And this is the jewel here, First Among Purposeful. I'm still trying to get one with Pen, since I have another First Among Purposeful. So this one, I could get Pen on it, but I would lose 3 Chaos Res. And here's the Medium Cluster Jewel, and I should probably... And this medium cluster jewel is not bad. It has chaos res, so that's how I get all my chaos res, is from these 2 medium cluster jewels. I'm not sure how much these jewels are, but these jewels are actually a very good like way to boost your ES. So you can see like they're 10x, and if you get this one jewel with like some chaos res and everything, like 15, 18 exalts, this is like one whole item's worth of ES and chaos res just on a jewel slot, and it gives you around the same amount of or effectiveness. So if you're looking for some upgrades and you're lacking ES, you're lacking chaos res in your build, try to look out for this medium cluster and try to upgrade it if possible. I know it's a lot of money, but it's actually really worth the upgrade. And then it's just a bunch of RMR dual multi jewels. I actually have around 400% multi with this setup, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. Now I'm kind of sad I'm no longer a Saboteur, because yeah, I mean, I need the cast speed for Necromancer. But a lot of people also ask me Pantheon, so I'll go over it in this gear overview. I've solved the Brian King, so I don't get stunned or blocked in this if I have been in the 2 seconds. So it's pretty much stun immunity. Like, I never die and think to myself, oh damn, I was stunned and I died. I solved Shikari, that just reduces the chaos damage taken, because chaos damage is an issue for us, so that's why I have it. It's kind of hard to start show you the stats when I don't have my Headhunter on, right? But let's move on to the juicy juice section, which is Penance Brand, and why is it skill duration so bad for it, and why does it feel like sometimes you do no damage? So let's get into the mechanics of the skill, right? Because in order to understand why Penance Brand is bad with duration, we have to look at PoE Wiki, one of the worst sites in terms of updating it. Check to the, oh, they actually changed this. This was actually updates needed for 3.12 last time I was on here. But let's go over some of what the skill does. So it creates a brand at the target location, and when it attaches, it adds energy stacks onto the target, which can also spread to a nearby enemy that hasn't been yet energized. The stored energy detonates and deals area of effect damage. When energy stacks reach the cap on the primary target, the brand releases damaging pulses around it instead. So you can't add more stacks upon it once you reach the cap of stacks. So you can see that Penance Brand is a Fizz and Lightning ability. It has a Fizz tag and a Lightning tag. And that's what makes this skill so good for budget builds, is because you can use crit multi-jewels that are also Lightning and Elemental tagged. So it's absolutely huge, and it's already partially converted, so we don't need to use a Fizz to Lightning gem. So energy stacks have a cap of 20, so that means once you get past 20, you don't actually gain the multiplier to the damage. So you can see that explosions deal 150% more damage with hits per energy after the first. So you can see that it's a huge more damage multiplier to be able to reach max stacks, because it's a multiplier upon another huge multiplier that keeps stacking and stacking. So the difference between 19 and 20 is absolutely insane. So that's why you need to optimize your duration so that Penance Brand can reach the max amount of stacks before it explodes. If an enemy has been energized to the maximum number of stacks, the brand will instead release damaging pulses in the area around it at the same frequency. So that pretty much means that you can't get more stacks than 20, and it does like some little damaging pulses. I don't really know how much that is, but yeah. But the main damage will come from the explosion that happens. And let's see. Explosion that happens at the end. Pulses deal... So increases and reduction of the cast speed also apply to the skill's activation frequency. So that's why cast speed is so important, and duration needs to be balanced with the amount of cast speed you have for full optimization. So here is another thing with when the energy stacks are released. An enemy with any Penance Brand attached to it dies. So this is if you kill the enemy, then it will get released. And the energy stacks are also released when a Penance Brand gets removed from the enemy via the use of the brand recall or utilizing Holy Conquest. So what this means is that when you're generally mapping and there's enemies nearby, you will never reach the maximum duration for the explosions to hit. So all that matters is how fast you can get the energy stacks up. So all that matters for general mapping purposes outside of what's it called, single target boss fights, is the fact that you have as much cast speed as possible and as much brand attachment range as possible. So I hope that makes sense, because the energy stacks you will never reach to the end. So then it can also end if the duration of any attached Penance Brand ends, which means that the duration of the skill is huge because you don't want the stacks to keep going on after you reach 20. So this is a little calculator here that helps you determine exactly what you should do. So I'll show you how you can input your stuff on the calculator. So this is my paw personally. So here it says in the first line, so you just have to find these 3 values and enter them in. So here you want to find your cast time. So obtained in the calc section, attack and cast rate section. Now this is someone else's, I think it's Remi's Penance Brand calculator. It's actually really well made, and actually, so you go here, you see attack and cast time. So you can see my cast time is pretty fast. My character is pretty good. So before you do this, you make sure you don't have Vol Haste checked or anything like that. You don't want to have too much cast speed. So you can know a realistic scenario when you're actually dealing damage. So you don't want to be a tooltip paw warrior. You want it to be accurate. So you go here, attack and cast rate. Make sure you have Penance Brand chose. And then you look at the cast time and then you input it 0.21. Oh yeah, and if you can't use this, so I have this link in the video description, so you have to make a copy of it so you can edit it, right? But this is actually very important, and I was able to find this out personally firsthand by playing with a Headhunter with duration and not realizing it. I was just so confused why the skill did not feel the same, and it's just crazy. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys here are not optimized in terms of having the perfect duration. So 0.21, the hit rate you can see is the third line here. Hit rate 10.86. So you type that in, 10.86. And then you have to find the skill duration, which is, I think it's skills type specific stats. You can see skill duration 0.88. So 0.88, and I think my cast speed is actually too fast then. So am I actually inefficient? 0.23, so yeah. So ideally you can see now my final explosion stack. So this is with Divergent Swift Brand, since everyone here is using Divergent Swift Brand. So if it is red, it means your stack is too low. So what that means is if you have an attack speed that is like too high, or cast time that's too high, then you won't reach the amount of stacks. So like this 0.28 is actually a good cast speed because it doesn't reach. So when it's green, it's good. That means you reach the 20 energy stacks before you before the explosion goes off. So you can say if it's green, it means your stacks is fine. If it's yellow, it means your stacks will reach the pulse damage, which is too much. So you don't want to reach the pulse damage. You want to have it as soon as it reaches it, the brand ends and the explosion happens, and that's the most important thing. So if by having like too much cast speed, you're actually having a kind of inefficiency. But the biggest thing is if you have too little cast speed. So if you have too little cast speed, say you're like a noob, right? And then you just have too much cast speed, then it's not going to feel so good. 0.55, so cast speed is absolutely king up to a certain point. So 0.23, this is what I actually have, I think. But you can see here, like I have my Headhunter here. And this is the Headhunter with duration. Look what happens. Now the duration in the calcs is what's the duration? 0.99. Look what happens. 0.99. 23 stacks. That is so bad. So you can see how bad duration is with our skill. It is just absolutely awful. You will have so much. So instead of the damage, the explosion happening and resetting already and going for another explosion, you are having some inefficient pulses that's happening. So the whole name of the game is to have balance, just like in life. You want to balance your skill duration, your hit rate, and cast time so that you can reach 20 stacks and the explosion happens. So here you take off the Headhunter. So make sure on your tree or any gems you have, you don't have duration. Some people might use an unnatural instinct here and it will give you duration from this stuff. We do have a little bit of duration though, something that we can't help, and that is from our Conqueror's efficiency jewel, which is, I don't know where I put it. Where is it? Where is the Conqueror's efficiency? Man, trying to find a jewel is like finding a diamond in the rough of this scenario, but you can basically see, wait, I don't have Conqueror's efficiency. Well, that is a troll. So I was wondering, like, why was like when I was playing this build, it seemed like I was so short on RMR, even though I have such insane jewels, right? Am I really not using a Conqueror's efficiency? There's no way, right? Well, it turns out my duration is lower because I'm not using a Conqueror's efficiency. So that's interesting to note. But anyhow, let's see. What did I add a Conqueror's efficiency? But Conqueror's efficiency, I don't know where it is in my stash. But don't make the same mistake I do. Make sure you actually put in all your gems. I don't even know where Conqueror's efficiency is. Maybe I dumped it into my tab, my unique tab. I don't know. It's gone. Oh wait, it's over here. How did I lose? How did I even play the ore stacker today without the conch efficiency gem? Make sure to double check your gems, everyone. You don't want to be like me, have a duration headhunter and then don't even use your conqueror's efficiency. But basically, you can see there's a 4% increased skill effect duration. This is not good. So if people are trying to like swap in between like Blade Vortex and Penance Brand, make sure that you don't have any extra duration on your tree or besides the Conqueror's efficiency. So I hope this helps everyone understand. Some people might feel like, oh, why does my Penance Brand feel like it's so delayed in damage and it doesn't really feel like the explosion is happening right away? And it's probably because you might have some skill duration. On the flip side is, why does it feel like the explosion is not doing so much damage? It's probably because your cast time is too slow, so you really should prioritize the cast speed. So you can see like how multiplicatively scaling this is, because like 15 energy stacks versus 20 energy stacks is going to be a huge difference of damage because each explosion deals 150% more damage with hits per energy after the first. So it's a huge multiplier. So that's why everyone says cast speed is king. So hopefully this helps everyone understands the mechanics of Penance Brand. Like when I first started Penance Brand, I thought it was just like, oh, it's cool, it's a brand skill. I really have no idea what I'm doing. I hear that there's these cool calculators out there, but yeah, I couldn't even find like a video for someone to show me where I could go on Pop to input all these numbers. But I hope this video helps everyone out with this, and maybe I'll pretty much include a little Maven clip and show you how ridiculous Penance Brand is with the double damage scepter when it actually hits. And it'll be a short clip, and Maven just gets one tapped. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. Anyhow, I hope that was a pretty interesting clip of the Maven. But boy, is Penance Brand pretty fun to play when bossing. Especially if you use like some double damage scepter or something. I don't know, some people say that you should use multi so it's more consistent, but some people just enjoy popping it off and having the boss instantly explode. And that's what Penance Brand gives you. The clear is not better than Blade Vortex. Oh yeah, I also tried Winter Orb today. Winter Orb's clear is better than Blade Vortex, but its single target is ATORCIOUS, otherwise known as atrocious. It cannot be fixed. I don't know what, I mean, it can be fixed. The single target is not terrible, like, don't get me wrong. I have meter tier gear, but its single target is just bad if you ever want to do boss fights. So if you want to do something like just if you just want to like run maps real fast and have a bosser character on the side, yeah, Winter Orb is really good. But if you want a workhorse, play Penance Brand or play Blade Vortex. If you want a character that can do it all, like Kobe, then yeah, please play please don't play Winter Orb, because you will regret it and it'll feel really bad when you do the boss fights. I have no idea what I can do to fix the single target. I do Smite, it's just not performing how I expected it would perform with the gear level I currently have. And I see other people's Winter Orb videos and it's just the same. It's amazing clear skill. It's a shame GGG nerfed it, but yeah, just be warned about if you want to play Winter Orb and the single target. On the bright side, while talking about the price of items, Winter Orb is actually kind of cheap because the double multi jewels with and cold and any other multi modifier is actually really cheap. It was 30 to 40 chaos. Now don't quote me on that. It was 30 to 40 chaos when I looked at it. I didn't buy any of them but one to try it out. So if anyone wants to play Winter Orb, it's still available. But like I say, make sure your Penance Brand calculator you use this calculator. Make sure this number is green. Everyone likes green. So why is my number not green? Because my duration is wrong, 0.88. You have Divergent Swift Brand. Make sure your Divergent Swift Brand is 2020. So yeah, hopefully that helps everyone out in understanding Penance Brand. Making this video actually helped me understand the skills, so when people ask me more in the future, I'll know about it. Oh yeah, and this is a new camera. I hope it looks a little better. I mean, the lighting looks okay. I do look a little clearer when I looked at myself in the previous takes. So if you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe. I stream every day on Twitch, and be sure to ask me questions. I'll try to answer pause and price checks or any general PoE questions. And I'll probably be starting up a Gauntlet series soon about pretty much like the possible builds, because I kind of am interested in doing some different builds sooner or later, but we'll see. I'm still having fun on the Aura Stacker. I might try to hit 100, but had some setbacks today, and yeah. But anyhow, thanks for watching, and see you next time, and I hope you find more mirrors than I do.